Volume 2 could change everything you thought you knew about Hawkins. The theories we're exploring go beyond monsters or powers. They're about fears, memories, and choices that could decide the final battle. From Will and Eleven to Max, Vecna, and the rest of the group, every character could hold clues to the outcome. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share before we dive into the video. Will Byers. Will Byers is the central figure around which much of the final conflict revolves, and understanding his role is essential to seeing how Hawkins might survive. The Upside Down doesn't operate randomly. Its gates, monsters, and distortions respond directly to him. The Mind Flayer in particular is less a separate entity and more a projection of Will's subconscious, shaped by his fears and unresolved trauma. Vecna exploits this connection, feeding on the emotional energy Will produces. In essence, the stability of the Upside Down is tied to Will's internal state, which makes him the primary agent of any potential collapse or resolution. Throughout the series, subtle patterns have highlighted Will's centrality. Monsters often react to his presence, gates open and close based on his emotional state, and the streets and structures of the Upside Down mirror moments from his life. Each monster, each anomaly, represents a fear or memory he hasn't confronted. The only way to weaken the Upside Down is for Will to face these directly, confronting the events and emotions Vecna has twisted into power. Success could destabilize monsters and weaken Vecna, while failure might allow the dimension to grow stronger, raising the stakes to a near unprecedented level. While Will is the main subject, the group's role is critical in supporting him and amplifying his impact. Mike provides emotional grounding, ensuring Will can focus on navigating the internal threats without being overwhelmed. Hopper offers tactical guidance and physical protection, keeping external threats at bay so Will can concentrate on the psychic and emotional core. Jonathan, Nancy, and Robin work to shut down physical gates, preventing the Upside Down from spreading further and giving Will a controlled environment in which to act. Meanwhile, Dustin, Lucas, and Erica analyze signals and patterns, often connected to Eddie's sacrifice, that allow Will's internal efforts to produce measurable effects in the real world. Their actions are essential, but they revolve around enabling Will, who remains the pivotal figure. The confrontation itself is psychological and internal rather than a direct fight. Will moves through distorted versions of Hawkins, confronting manifestations of trauma, memories twisted by Vecna, and emotional imprints that sustain the dimension. Each step he takes destabilizes the structures of the Upside Down, and every decision has ripple effects on the physical and psychic environment. The rest of the group's actions are coordinated to maximize the results of his internal confrontation, creating a synchronized strategy in which Will's choices determine the overall success. The stakes emphasize his centrality. The Upside Down's very existence is connected to his fears and memories, making him the axis around which the entire battle turns. While the group supports, strategizes, and acts on physical fronts, their impact is magnified only because Will is actively confronting the dimension from within. In this sense, he is both the main subject and the catalyst. His actions guide the group's effectiveness, and their coordinated efforts support him in ways he cannot achieve alone. In conclusion, Will Byers is the main subject of this segment, the psychic and emotional core of the Upside Down. Every decision, every confrontation, and every fear he faces directly affects the survival of Hawkins. The group is essential, but their role is structured around his centrality. Understanding Will's position clarifies the stakes, the strategy, and the importance of coordination, setting the stage for the next characters who will contribute to the final resolution. Vecna is the central antagonist and the primary force maintaining control over the Upside Down, making him the main subject of this segment. Unlike typical villains, he operates through manipulation, strategy, and exploitation of fear rather than sheer brute force. His attacks are calculated, targeting specific fears, traumas, and vulnerabilities. What makes him so dangerous is how he interacts with the key players, especially Will, whose fears and memories form the foundation of the Upside Down itself. Vecna's power grows directly from the emotional energy he extracts, and the way he manipulates Will and the other characters shows how deeply interconnected the players are. Will is the internal anchor of the dimension, and Vecna's strategy revolves around keeping him trapped in fear. The Mind Flayer, which is connected to Will's trauma, acts as an extension of Vecna's control. While Will confronts the core of the Upside Down internally, Vecna applies external pressure, attacking and destabilizing Hawkins, creating tension and exploiting weaknesses in both the physical and psychic realms. Here, Vecna's connection to Eleven becomes crucial. Eleven must hold back his psychic assaults, maintain the integrity of the group's defensive field, and ensure that Will has the focus and stability needed to act from within. The rest of the group's actions revolve around countering Vecna's manipulations. Mike and Hopper Hopper stabilize 11, giving her space to maintain her psychic defense. Jonathan, Nancy, and Robin work on closing physical gates, disrupting the infrastructure Vecna uses to expand his control, while Dustin, Lucas, and Erica analyze patterns or signals left behind, such as Eddie's sacrifice, to identify weak points. Vecna's power depends on fear and chaos, so their coordinated efforts reduce his influence, but they cannot dismantle him completely. The dimension itself is anchored in will. Vecna also adapts to the group's strategies, making the battle dynamic. He doesn't rely on predictable attacks. Instead, he anticipates moves, manipulates emotional vulnerabilities, and reacts to patterns in the group's actions. This is why precision and coordination are essential. The group must act strategically, aligning their external actions with Will's internal confrontation and Eleven's psychic defense. Max's potential guidance from within the mindscape adds another layer, helping the group target critical nodes and vulnerabilities that Vecna might otherwise exploit. Understanding Vecna requires analyzing how he converts psychological and emotional manipulation into tangible power. Every attack is purposeful, aimed at maximizing fear and destabilizing the internal and external structure of the Upside Down. Even when the group acts effectively, their successes only amplify the importance of Will's internal confrontation and Eleven's external defense. In this sense, Vecna's threat defines the role of every other character. The group, Eleven, Max, and Will themselves are all responding to his presence, making him the central subject of the struggle. Ultimately, Vecna's control over the Upside Down is both systemic and personal. He is the axis around which the events unfold. Will is the internal anchor, Eleven the psychic defender, Max the internal guide, and the rest of the group the tactical and analytical support. Vecna connects all of their roles, making the outcome of the final confrontation dependent on how well each character executes their part in response to him. This analysis highlights why Vecna is the main subject here. He drives the structure, challenges, and strategy that define the final battle, while the other characters operate in relation to his control. Eleven remains the primary psychic anchor for the group and the main subject in this segment. Her role is crucial because she is the one maintaining balance between the real world and the Upside Down, directly countering Vecna's psychic influence. She isn't just fighting, she is strategizing, managing the flow of psychic energy, and ensuring that Will can focus on confronting the Upside Down internally. Her actions define the effectiveness of the entire group, making her central to any chance of success. Her powers are significant, but they have limitations. The series suggests that her abilities may be tied to the existence of the Upside Down. If the dimension collapses or shifts dramatically, she risks losing her powers. This creates a strategic layer to her decisions. Eleven must choose when to use her abilities to hold Vecna at bay, when to amplify Will's efforts, and when to conserve energy to avoid overexertion. Each choice has direct consequences on the outcome of the battle and the group's survival. While Eleven is the focus, the group interacts closely with her role. Mike provides emotional grounding and strategic advice, helping her stay focused and coordinated. Hopper offers protection and tactical guidance, ensuring she can concentrate on maintaining psychic stability. Eleven's challenges are not only external but also internal. She must manage her emotional state, remain adaptable, and make strategic decisions while under immense psychic pressure. Vecna's attacks are manipulative, psychological, and highly targeted, forcing her to anticipate threats and respond quickly. Her focus, judgment, and timing are critical, and her ability to maintain the psychic field directly affects Will's success inside the Upside Down and the overall plan to destabilize Vecna's control. Her connection to Will is also central. While Will works to dismantle the core of the Upside Down internally, Eleven provides external support, preventing Vecna from exploiting his fear. Their roles are interdependent. Will's internal confrontation drives the destabilization of the dimension, while Eleven's psychic control ensures that his efforts are not sabotaged by external attacks or Vecna's manipulations. This coordination highlights her importance as the main subject. Without her, the strategy would collapse. Overall, Eleven is the main subject of this segment because she operates at the intersection of psychic defense, strategy, and coordination. Her powers, decision-making, and awareness define the group's effectiveness, connecting Will's internal confrontation with the external effort while the group functions as a system, with Eleven at the core, ensuring that the battle against Vecna and the Upside Down remains possible. Max's role in the battle against the Upside Down and Vecna is unique. She may not have the raw psychic power that Eleven possesses, or the central internal connection that Will holds. Her function is critical for guiding the group and identifying weaknesses within Vecna's control. Max operates as both an observer and a participant, especially if she is within Vecna's mindscape, where her insight provides crucial information that the rest of the team can act upon in the real world. Her connection to the other characters is essential. Eleven relies on Max's observations to focus her psychic efforts where they are most effective. Will's confrontation within the Upside Down is more precise when Max can identify nodes, patterns, or disturbances that reveal vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, Mike, Hopper, Jonathan, Nancy, and Robin can act externally with better strategy because Max helps pinpoint where their actions will have maximum impact. Dustin, Lucas, and Erica benefit from her guidance when decoding patterns or signals left in the Upside Down, ensuring that every move is synchronized with the larger plan. In this sense, Max is both an internal navigator and a connector, bridging the internal and external efforts of the group. Max's challenges are primarily psychological. Inside Vecna's mindscape, she must navigate complex psychic traps, confront residual trauma, and remain focused under extreme stress. Her resilience allows her to identify patterns and weaknesses that would otherwise remain hidden, making her observations crucial for destabilizing Vecna's control. Unlike 11, she doesn't project force, but her analytical role ensures that every action taken by the team is informed and precise. Max essentially acts as the tactical mind within the psychic battlefield, a role that complements 11's power and Will's internal confrontation. Her interactions with the group highlight her importance. 11 depends on her insight to make strategic decisions. Will's efforts become more effective through her guidance, and the external team can synchronize attacks and gate closures based on the vulnerabilities Max identifies. She effectively turns observations into actionable intelligence, creating leverage against Vecna that cannot be achieved by force alone. This makes her indispensable, even if her contributions are less visibly dramatic than others. Max's presence also emphasizes the emotional stakes of the battle. She confronts not only Vecna's psychic manipulations, but also her own fears and experiences from past trauma. Her ability to maintain clarity under pressure demonstrates that her role is as much about resilience and insight as it is about direct action. By focusing on Max's perspective, it becomes clear how the internal mindscape, the external psychic defense, and the real-world tactical efforts are interconnected, all converging around her guidance. The group as a whole is the backbone of the fight against Vecna and the Upside Down, making them the main subject in this segment. While Will, 11, and Max each have unique roles, Mike serves as the central coordinator. His role goes beyond emotional support. He ensures that the group acts as a unit, maintaining communication, assigning priorities, and responding to changing threats. Hopper complements this with tactical expertise, protecting the team and allowing 11 and Will to focus on their critical roles. Jonathan, Nancy, and Robin work externally to manage and close the gates that connect the Upside Down to Hawkins, preventing the dimension from spreading or creating new threats. That success is not based on individual power alone, but on synchronized strategy, shared insight, and mutual support. Each member's role has critical dependencies. If Mike fails to coordinate effectively, 11 might lose focus or react incorrectly. If Hopper or the external team cannot secure the gates, Vecna's influence could spread, undermining Will's internal efforts. If Dustin, Lucas, and Erica misinterpret patterns, the group could miss crucial opportunities to weaken the dimension. This interconnectedness makes the team itself a central subject, showing that the final battle is a system of actions and reactions rather than isolated heroics. The group also illustrates the balance between internal and external operations. Will's internal confrontation is amplified by 11's psychic control and Max's guidance. The group is the main subject of this segment because their coordinated efforts connect all the individual roles into a functional strategy. They provide the structure and support necessary for Will, 11, and Max to execute their critical actions. By analyzing the group as a system, you can see how synchronization, tactical planning, and shared responsibility define the final confrontation. The battle against Vecna and the Upside Down is not a collection of individual feats, but a carefully orchestrated operation, with each member contributing to a unified strategy that determines the survival of Hawkins. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share for more deep dive Stranger Things theories.